Howdy ho. All right, so this is for week 9. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to surface our models. When I say surfacing, I just mean like basically applying materials and texturing in the whole 9 yards. This probably will be multiple videos, just so that I can just break it up. I think it'll just be easier that way. Because what I'm going to have you do is just a couple of different, rather than going through and like individually and manually doing it all, because that would take a very long time. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of show you a couple techniques, and then when you are done with that, then just submit, just submit what I'm doing. But obviously, when you make your own environment next week, that's when I'm going to give you the next project to make your own environment. You can use those techniques or whatever you want in order to create your models and such. All right. So right off the bat, I am going to have, if you look up above, you look at like resources underneath the assignment, you'll see, it'll say, lab materials. It'll be a zip folder. Just unzip that, and then you can use that to work from. Or if you want to just work from where you left off last lab, that's fine too. Either way. But if you do decide to do that, if you decide to use mine, what you have to do is set that project folder, because my project is not your project. Okay? So, you would download it. Where is it? You would download it, and then it's going to be, I didn't zip it yet. Let me go ahead and do that. Send to compressive folder. That's pretty large. It's taking a while. But you would make a compressed zip folder, right? You're going to unzip it. It's going to look like this, and then inside of this will be the My Project folder. It'll have the scenes in here from when we did the mud box and stuff, and it would have the source images from when I sent out the pictures. That sort of thing. Okay, so anyways, you're gonna unzip it from there. If you can also just start from where you are, but I'm saying if you start from where mine is, you're gonna make a new project folder. So if you do that, then what you're gonna do is you're open up Maya. You're gonna start out with a fresh scene, and what you want to do is you want to set the project now to the one you download. So I'll just do File, Set Project, and then I have to navigate on my computer. So on my computer, I have to navigate to the where it is. So in mine, I have it underneath. This is not alphabetical apparently. Class materials, then 3D, and then it was week 9 for me. Start, and then right here it is. So I'll just double click on it. Don't click on any of these things, but as long as it says cone film up here and there's nothing selected here, it'll work. Or you can just back up and just select this. Either way, it will work, and then you just hit set. Now it's going to look for that in everything that you do. And the reason why that's important is because we're going to start bringing in images. And when you bring images in, just like when we did the character, it's going to look at that folder structure, and it's going to look for it in there. You don't want to not have it like that. Otherwise, when you go to submit this, I won't be able to see it. Okay. From there, what I'm going to do now is go ahead and open. And when you click on open, you'll notice it goes right to there now. If it goes to the old project, it means you didn't set it up correctly, okay? Now, that being said, when you're done with this and you do your own project next week or whatever, you have to set it back to the other one when you go to work back on your other files. So you have to set the project to whatever project you're currently working on. So right now I'm working on this one because I'm working on this lab. So I'm just going to go to Environment Geo V02, okay? We don't need to save it. And voila. So all I did is I just added a rug just because I want to do an example of something on here. Yeah, nothing too fancy. It's not that great. It just is what it is. All right. So we're going to do a couple of things here, and then we'll carry on. Okay. So what I'm going to do is bring over my materials over here, the Hypershade, okay? And it's going to snap up there, which I didn't want it to do, so that's cool. All right. I'm going to bring over this Hypershade. And what we're going to do is I'm basically just going to make a bunch of materials. If I can get this to get small enough. There we go. I'm going to make a bunch of materials and then just apply them to the various things here, right? So I'm just going to, I like to do Lamberts, or not Lamberts, I like to do blends. Okay, so you should see them down here. Yours might look a little bit different, but just look for blend. So I'll click on blend. It's going to make a new blend. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rename this, and I'll just call this walls underscore MAT, and then hit enter. Okay, so this will be my walls for my thing here. And I'm just going to go ahead and click on, oops, not that, sorry. And I'm just going to give it a color initially, so we'll just click on this, and what are my walls? They're like a tannish kind of color, like that, we'll say. Okay, so that'll be my walls color. And then I got to look at the other options here. So there's no transparency, they're not see-through. It doesn't have an ambient color, it's not bright. It's not emitting any color, so it's not incandescent. Diffuse you can use if you're trying to brighten it up a little bit. Both ambient and diffuse will do that. Specular. So specular is the shininess. If I make this really high, it's going to make it very shiny. And if I go all the way to black, it will make it matte. Okay? So my walls have a little bit of shine, but generally they're kind of mattish. I don't think I got eggshell. I think I got semi-gloss. Eccentricity is the tightness of the highlight. So if I go really, really tight, you can kind of see a preview of it there. It'll make it like wetter looking. So I am not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it really broad. Reflectivity, that's a major one. That does what you think it does. So just turn that all the way down. These are not reflective in any way. All right. So we'll call that my wall color. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply that to this over here. So I'm going to have to go to the channel box, and then I can see room walls. And you see I put them on reference. I'm going to unreference them. And what I'm going to do is just middle mouse button. I'm going to click in, so like where your wheel is. You'll see it turns to, and then I'll click and drag. I'm holding it with my middle mouse button. You see a little plus over my cursor. I'm going to let it go, and then it should apply to that. Now you can see, oh, there it goes. My thing didn't work very well. But you can see, yay, it turned the whole thing that color, right? So that's good. The other way to do it, for some reason you're struggling with that, is that you can select it like this, and then right click and hold and go and drag up to assign material selection. That's the other way it'll work, okay? So we did the walls. Now let's do the floor. My floor is like it's vinyl, but it looks like wood. So we're gonna make another material for the, basically you make materials like there are materials everywhere else, right? So I have different walls, but all the walls share the same material. They're all like drywall. They all have paint on them. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna make another material, another blend. We're just gonna use blends for everything, and we'll call this floor underscore MAT. Okay, and then I will take the color, and I am just gonna pull it and try to make it more of a brownish color. That seems good enough. Okay, specular. They've got a very minimal amount of shine as well. I'll leave the eccentricity alone, and then just reflectivity all the way down. Okay, so that will be my floor. Now, my floor, if you look, is actually part of the rest of the box, right? So what I want to do, one of the things you can do is I can just apply the floor to just the faces on the ground. So what I'm going to have to do is this. I'm going to right click over top of it, go to faces. So now I'm in faces, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to hold shift, click, and hold shift and click. Right? So now I've got these however many faces. So I got them selected. I'm just going to right click over top of this and assign material to selection. And now if I click off, I'm just going to right click, drag up to object. You can now see that, yeah, that's got that ground texture to it. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the ceiling for right now because I don't think when I actually shoot this, you're not going to see the ceiling at all anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it. But normally I would just do the same thing for the ceiling, but for the sake of expediency. So I'm going to go ahead and click this back to reference on the channel box. I click on this, and then right there. All right, so that's good. We'll call that acceptable. So now it won't get in my way when I try to grab things and what have you. All right. And what I'm going to do now are these things here. So my table has, it's like a painted black wood. So we'll just do another material for that. And we'll just call this desk underscore MAT. And I'm just going to drag this down because it's pretty much just really, really almost. I don't go 100% black on anything, so I'll make it really almost black. Take the diffuse down a little bit. It's very, very much not shiny, so I'm going to bring that down a whole lot. And then just take reflectivity all the way off. And then I'm just going to, from up here, middle mouse button, click and drag and drop. And that didn't do anything. I'll do it this way. Right click, temperature selection. Yay. Okay. These legs, right? Now these legs all share the same material. They're all some like painted steel, I think, and it's just gray. So I'm just going to do another blend, and we'll just call this desk legs underscore MAT. And they are more or less just kind of a darkish gray. And they are actually a little bit shinier, so they're probably right about there. Eccentricity, I'm going to make it a little bit tighter. And they're not reflective at all, though, I don't think. Maybe they're a little bit reflective. We'll give them a touch of reflectivity. Okay, good. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this leg here. I'm going to hold shift, click on that one. Hold shift still, click, come on. Click on that one. Click on that one. I'm going to hit 4 just to make sure that's all I have selected. Okay, head back to 6 to put texturing on. And then I'm just going to right click and assign material selection. And yay, now the legs have that, right? So they're all the same material. Now, I got my desk, and pretty much all of these, they are all different materials, but for laziness purposes, I'm going to make them all the same black plastic. So I'm going to again do another blend. And I'm just going to call this comp black plastic underscore MAT, and we're gonna go super duper dark. Okay, and they're relatively shiny. They're not the highlights are not very tight, and reflectivity all the way down. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it to all these things. So I'm just gonna kind of click and drag, unselect this, hold shift and control and click. Okay, this. I think my walls are still getting in the way, which is kind of stupid. I'm just going to go ahead and make my mouse the same color too, just for the purposes of making it easier. And we'll just go ahead and I grab all those computer components, and let me see, desk, legs, desk mat. Oh, there we go. And right click and assign materials to selection. Yay, that looks like a thing, right? So that's good. Okay. So yeah, hopefully you get an idea of how that works. Let's do a real quick thing where I just want to have this here have a the screen. I want to have like an image, right? So like let's say I had a frame or something, I'd want to just put a picture, but just on the screen part. So I'm going to have to grab that face and then apply a material to it. But I'm going to show you another way of doing this. I have to download a picture real quick, and then I'll put it in the source images, and then you can use that. Alright, so I went ahead and did that. I just went on the internet, I looked up a picture of like a Windows desktop. I just saved the picture, and then I put it into the source images folder of my Maya project folder. So so here's my Maya project folder I'm working at. I just saved it, and then I plopped it right here. So here's that's the image I want to bring in. It's right in the source images folder, because everything comes from the source images. Alright, so now I just want to make another material, so I'm just going to go ahead and do another blend, and we're just going to call it monitor screen underscore MAT. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to color though, and instead of just doing a color, which I could, but I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to click, actually let's do this. Let's apply this. So I'm just going to make this blue to start with, just so you get an idea. So we'll just do like a blue color, okay? Yeah. And then that looks fine. I'm going to go ahead and I just want to apply it to just this single face. So I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to right click, drag down a face. I'm going to select the single face. I'm going to right click over top of this and assign material to selection. Okay. So now you can see it. I'm going to go to my material though, and I'm going to go ahead and just adjust some of these things. So I'm going to take the diffuse all the way up, and I'm going to take the ambient color up too, so it'll look kind of lit. And I'm going to actually take the incandescence up, because this is actually emitting. Specular color all the way down. It's not shiny at all, and the rest don't matter, because as long as that's down it won't matter, and then it's not reflective either. Okay, so we'll call that good for the screen, so that'll emote. But instead of doing just a blue color, let's actually attach that image. So I'm just going to click on this, I'm going to choose file, and then it'll bring me to this. I'm going to hit the little folder, and then you're going to see it's going to bring me right to my source images folder, and there's the image. If you have to look for the image, it means your project is not set correctly, or you did not put the image inside the source images. Check which one it is. So I'm going to select it there and hit open. Now, when I look over here, you're going to see it doesn't look right. There's a couple reasons for that. One is that I got the ambient color really high. So let me take the ambient color. Actually, I think it's the incandescence that really kind of... I want to take the ambient color down. It's doing a little bit, but I'm going to take this down a little bit. Normally I pump that up, but I want to be able to see it. So there's a couple reasons. So I'm going to select this model. I'm going to go to UV editor. And the reason why is that if we look at it, if I select this face, so which one is it? It's right here. It's this face. It's only taking up this part of the picture. You see the problem? So what I have to do basically is cut this out, kind of like what we did before, and then make it scaled to this. So I'm just going to go ahead and maybe go to Edge and double click, and that will grab, I clicked on the wrong one. I got to grab the inside edge. Nope, not that one still. Okay, so now I got the inside edge loop. I can also just do it in here. It would be the inside. Hopefully, did it go all the way around? It did not. Okay, so I got to grab all these inside. Cool, that wasn't the one I clicked on, but can I have the one I clicked on? Oh, and don't unselect that one. Okay, so I'm going to grab all these inside edges, basically, like so that I can cut, man, can't, okay, I'm going to hit F to frame, because it's, let's move this over, it's too many things to juggle around here. So now I have all the inside edges, right, you can kind of see of it. Alright, so now in the UV editor, I'm just going to go ahead and do, if this doesn't show up, just remember it should be tools, or UV tools, and then UV toolkit. It'd be the same thing as if you hold spacebar, you go to tools, and then you'll see show UV toolkit. But you should have a menu up there. I don't know where mine is. But anyway, so I have it there. I'm just going to go ahead and go to cut. And then what I can do is go to face. I can select that face. And then I'm just going to scale it up like so. And you're going to see wherever it shows here. So if I move this, let's say if I put this box is equivalent to this. So if I put this here, you'll see it's going to go in the corner over here. See what I'm saying? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make it fit basically the entirety of the screen. W. So you do the best you can, and we'll just call that good enough. Okay. Then I'll close that out. Okay. And I'll just right click, go back into object mode, click off. There we go. And now you can see, yay, there's that picture. Okay, so you can apply pictures that way if you just cut the face that you're trying to slap on. You can just slap on that one little thing there, and voila. And I could do something very similar like with my keys here, right? I could grab these keys, and then I could, or I take a picture of my keyboard from above, a nice flat picture, and then just lay it over top of this, and then you would get the idea that it would look like keys. Obviously, it's just a picture. It would be over top of it, so it wouldn't be perfect, but it would be better than just being this flat image. Okay, so let's just finish up just applying basic materials to everything, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so let's just do chair cushion here. So we'll just do another material, and I'm just going to call it chair cushion underscore MAT, and we can apply it to both of these. So my chair is also like a really dark, everything I have is black basically, so let's do a different color, do something more fun, right, because I don't really care. Let's do a luxurious, this color. Let's make it a little more red, a little more luxurious, more of a maroon. Okay, and then specular is going to be down a bit, eccentricity is going to go up a little bit, it's not reflective at all. So I'm just going to take that material and apply it to both these cushions. Hopefully. There it goes. See, my video card's kind of not working well. And then I'm just going to use the same black plastic. Let's see, where's the desktop legs? Black plastic. I'm going to take that and put that on here and on my wheels. So let's grab all these guys. I'm just holding shift, selecting them all, then right click. Add selected materials, just to make it a little bit easier. And then I'll use that gray for this as well. It would be best to not do it this way, because that way you have more control, micro control. But I'm just going to go ahead and apply it to both of those. And then I'm going to do a rug material as well. So we'll do another blend, and we'll just call it rug underscore MAT. Alright, and then let's go to color, and we'll do, something, do this color, okay? So there, the rug is not shiny at all, and it's not reflective at all. So it's basically just a mat. It's not a mat, it's a rug. Anyway, so we're just going to go ahead and apply that there, and that didn't work, so let's try it again. Assign material selection. Okay, And at this point, we got really basic materials. So the first thing I would do whenever you're doing any of your stuff is, I know I did the image on here, I probably should have waited for that, but it's just to go ahead and apply your materials to everything. Like, just get general materials for everything that needs a material. If different objects share the same material, you can just use that same material on all those objects, right? Like, if you have just a matte plastic, and it's like the same color and the same everything as another thing, then just apply it to both of them. You don't have to make one for every single little piece of something. That being said, if something is not the same, you know, like if I look at this microphone, right, it's all black. Everything in my room is black, you know, but like this foam is different than the stand. You know, like this is kind of a shinier, this is metal. It's a different material than this foam is. This foam is some sort of synthetic plastic or something, right? So, it's going to be different. So anyway, we'll call that good as far as this time is concerned. In the next video, I'm going to go through and show you how to utilize some procedural textures. And then from there, actually the next video I'm going to do is show you how to create a seamless texture, and then probably do the procedural textures after, because I think that would be the complexity in which we work. Okay, so we'll call that good as a start, and then we'll do the next thing.